As we near the final championship of today here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center, we're joined by Dr. Jim Tinneber, Executive Director of the NSAA. Jim, you've been here all day. Thanks for joining us. How has today gone for you guys?
It's been a good tournament. We've been very pleased with the matchups that we've had. We've had a lot of good ball games today. We had an overtime game today, and overall, it's really been a good sportsmanship day for us as well. So it's been a good tournament.
Also today we've had those third place games as you guys have had last year as well. What's the response for those again this year?
Well, you know, we still have got some critics who don't like the third place games, but I think it's catching on, and we're seeing more people show up and attend those, and certainly the kids that participate in those, for the most part, think that they're a pretty darn good thing. So I think we'll continue those at least for another few years.
Right, you brought up attendance. Where does that fall this year, and compare that to years past?
Well, you know, yesterday we were at about 46,000, which is down a little bit over where we typically like to see it. We think that if we get somewhere around 70,000 for our girls tournament total, that's a good tournament. And I don't think we got 24,000 today, so we're probably down a little bit. Probably the weather's too nice. Who'd have ever thought we'd have said that for the girls state basketball tournament? But you know, we've had some pretty good crowds here today for the finals. So.
Yeah, we oftentimes have a snowstorm for state championship weekend, don't we?
Don't mention it.
Yeah, we still have next week. Real briefly, your thoughts heading into the boys tournament next week?
Well, we've got some really good matchups for next week, and you know, the boys typically bring in somewhere between 90 and 100,000 spectators. You know, Lincoln, Nebraska is a great place for people to come this time of the year to see basketball, and we've got some great teams out there. We're looking forward to a good week next week.
All right, thank you so much. Dr. Jim Tinneber, Executive Director of the NSAA. Coming up next on NET on 1011, the Class C2 Championship game.
As I travel around the state of Nebraska, time and time again, viewers tell me how much they enjoy and appreciate NET's coverage of high school sports. Hello, I'm Jeff Beckman, Executive Director of the NET Foundations. It's an honor for us to provide you with coverage of high school basketball, wrestling, swimming and diving, football, bowling, and rodeo to every home in Nebraska. And none of that would be possible without the individual support of viewers like you.
Hi, I'm Jenny Herstein, and as NET Membership Director, it's my job to make sure that we make a meaningful connection with our supporters, above and beyond our broadcast and broadband services. That's why we created the NET Sports Partners Club, to say thank you for supporting the work we do year after year. Enjoy the satisfaction of knowing that your support makes NET Sports Action possible, along with these other benefits of joining the Sports Partners Club. You'll receive a wide range of sports gear and memorabilia, and you'll receive exclusive invitations to pregame events throughout the year. An insider's look at NET Sports through our e-newsletter. And you'll receive that special invitation to the Sports Partners Club breakfast hosted by Adrian Fiala of NET's Big Red Wrap-Up. And with gifts of $80 and above, you'll also receive the NET member card.
Now, after a winter like this, baseball season just can't get here soon enough. Become a member right now, and we'll see you at the Sports Partners Tailgate Party on April 18th at Haymarket Park in Lincoln. The Husker baseball team plays Kansas. That's the day after the red-white football game. So if you're coming into Lincoln for that, extend your stay and enjoy a full weekend of Husker sports. I hope to see you there.
Go to netnebraska.org/sportspartners and reserve your season ticket for the best sports coverage in the state, right in your own living room.
NET is honored to have received 2 awards from the National Educational Telecommunications Association for excellence in public broadcasting. NET News received first place in the News and Public Affairs category for Electing a President, Nebraska Voter Diaries. And for the corporate promotion category, NET was recognized for the Reach, Connect, Inspire campaign. NET commits to bring quality local programming to Nebraska and the nation.
This moment of serenity is brought to you by The Buddha, the story of one man's journey to awakening.
Coming in April to NET1.
Back at the Devaney Center for the final game of Championship Saturday, the Class C2 title game between Hartington Cedar Catholic and what's this? The return of an old friend, Sandy Creek. Once a perennial appearance every single Championship Saturday, though. It's a little bit of a time warp. We used to start the day with Sandy Creek. We end the day with Sandy Creek in 2010.
Yeah, they were used to those early wake-up calls. Now they're staying up late night. Sandy Creek is brand new territory for them. Not being at the Devaney Center, but the time slot for them playing the late night contest here at the Devaney.
And it should be a really interesting matchup because Class C2 has been kind of thrown for a loop a little bit. Elmwood Murdoch came in undefeated, the favorites, but they ran into Sandy Creek yesterday and just did not have enough. And Sandy Creek, maybe with that tradition, riding some of that tradition and the veteran coaching experience of Russ Neinmeyer, upset the previously unbeaten Knights, and they are here in place of the #1 seed.
Yeah, Russ Neinmeyer clearly has a lot of experience here. He's almost a master at playing here at the Devaney Center and knowing how to size up these matchups, how to temper the bright lights of playing on Saturday. So I expect Sandy Creek to come in really sharp. We joked about the time position for Sandy Creek, but what about for Hartington Cedar Catholic? That's a team that went overtime last night, played deep into the night. So this is nothing new for them. We're going to tip off a little later than expected, but hey, they've been staying up late anyway. Let's do it again.
Absolutely. They've had plenty of time to rest all day today. Championship final number 6 coming up right here on NET and 1011.
Soy biodiesel from Nebraska soybeans lowers our dependence on foreign oil. It has properties that reduce engine wear. And it burns without harmfully polluting the atmosphere. The Nebraska Soybean Board encourages the use of soy biodiesel.
You can see it on the horizon. Nebraska's landscape is changing. Wind has been a part of Nebraska Public Power District's generation mix since 1998. NPPD supports the development of wind power generation in the state. But wind is variable and does not produce electricity 24/7. Other generation resources like coal and nuclear will remain necessary. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility.
You're watching NET1 and NET HD.
Sandy Creek and Hartington Cedar Catholic for the Class C2 state championship. Welcome back to the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Just like with the theme all night long, these teams just don't lose to competition that's really beneath them. Cedar Catholic's losses this year have been to West Point Central Catholic, a state qualifier, Lutheran High Northeast, state qualifier, Norfolk Catholic, perennial power, and Boone Central, state qualifier. Sandy Creek started off the season red hot, but lost 3 of 7 down the stretch and had to earn a wild card to get here, but they've turned it back on in time for the state tournament, and they are here on Championship Saturday. Well, let's meet the Trojans and the Cougars across the way to our public address announcer, Rich Broderson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Nebraska School Activities Association, its member schools and U.S. Bank, welcome to the Bob Devaney Sports Center for tonight's Class C2 Championship Girls Basketball game between the 21-4 Hartington Cedar Catholic Lady Trojans and the 22-3 Sandy Creek Cougars. Here are the lineups. First, the non-starters for Hartington Cedar Catholic. Number 10, Kendra Lambers. Number 20, Shanna Lacey. Number 22, Molly Schieffer. Number 30, Shelby Newholfen. Number 34, Angela Steffen. Number 40, Kaylin Dix. And number 52, Nancy Denninger. And now the non-starters for Sandy Creek. Number 13, Tori Wheeler. Number 15, Amanda Caton. Number 25, Taylor Horst. Number 31, Bailey Henson. Number 41, Kayla Landorf. Number 45, Erica Kuda. And number 53, Brenna Slick. And now here's the starting lineup for the Lady Trojans of Hartington Cedar Catholic. 8'5" senior number 12, Madison Becker. 8'5" junior number 14, Tracy Pikes. 8'5" senior number 32, Jillian Fellmeyer. 8'5" senior number 44, Molly Dickus. And at 5'10" junior number 50, Dana Dickus. The assistant coach for the Lady Trojans is Zach Wimhoff, and the head coach for Hartington Cedar Catholic, Terry Cottle. And now here's the starting lineup for the Cougars of Sandy Creek High School. 8'4" senior number 11, Morgan Hendricks. 8'8" sophomore number 21, Montana Hendricks. 8'11" sophomore number 23, Ashley Harms. 8'9" junior number 33, Carrie Ann Shaw. And a 5'11" freshman number 43, Michaela Shaw. The assistant coach of the Cougars is Jeremy Bohr, and the head coach for Sandy Creek, Russ Neinmeyer. The officials for tonight's Class C2 championship game are Ben Klein, Kyle Poor, and Kevin Wood. The bench official is Chris Van Meter. Ladies and gentlemen, let's play basketball.
And so for one final time tonight, we're ready to tip off a state championship game in the 2010 Girls State Tournament. Hartington Cedar Catholic, the pride of Cedar County, way up there in northeast Nebraska, just a few short minutes away from the South Dakota border. Sandy Creek, South Central Nebraska, the pride of the Southern Nebraska Conference, and a multi-time state champion, though none since 2001. You look at the brackets, how they got here. We mentioned Sandy Creek's victory over Elmwood Murdoch. They also took out Tri-County. Hartington Cedar Catholic took out another Class C2 power, West Point Central Catholic, en route to getting here. Russ Neinmeyer, 33rd year as the head coach. He was joking before the game. He didn't know if he would be around for yet another set of Shaws to coach, but sure enough he is. And off the opening tip, we nearly had another score in the first 5 seconds. That is 3 times today where we've nearly had a score. Once we did, and a score 4 seconds in off the opening tip. Coaches are really, maybe they learned something from that first game this morning.
Well, one of them even had a set play off the opening tip.
And it went all the way in. Seward did the same thing, almost scored.
And then this one nearly got the shot to fall 5 seconds into the contest.
Well, the state record, at least established today, is 4 seconds. Cedar Catholic tied up. That was one of the Shaws, Michaela Shaw, the freshman. And Sandy Creek will get it on the possession arrow. Cedar Catholic will bring pressure in the backcourt, and the Cougars break it. Now a trap. Broken again. Ashley Harms deflected away. Fellmeyer with the steal for the Trojans. This is Tracy Pites. Madison Becker, weak side look down low, and coming down hard with the ball momentarily. Her teammate runs out of there, but Ashley Harms slow in getting up, and she'll have to come all the way in. Loose ball, and last touched by Sandy Creek. Cedar Catholic will have the possession here.
Kind of a frantic first minute there on both ends.
Well, last night in the overtime win over West Point Central Catholic, Hartington Cedar Catholic and West Point Central Catholic combined for nearly 60 turnovers. It was not the most well-executed game in the world, but the pressure on defense was there all night long. Free throws are coming up as a foul, I believe, is going to go on Morgan Hendricks. That'll be the first one of the game, and at the free throw line, it's Jillian Fellmeyer, 5'8" senior, averaging almost 10 points, 4 rebounds a game. And she puts the Trojans on the board first. As you take a look at head coach Terry Cattle, both are good. 2-0. Cedar Catholic. Hendricks went across the way to Harms. Sandy Creek was lucky to maintain the possession there. And again, a trap, and Russ Neinmeyer wants a timeout. He does not like the way his offense right now is being attacked by this Lady Trojan defense. They really have not had a chance to get set up in any way, shape, or form offensively, at least in the first minute and 20 seconds.
I don't feel that either team has really been able to set up offensively. We saw a couple nice backdoor looks, particularly on Hartington and Cedar Catholic in that first 30 seconds. They had a nice backdoor pass. The shot did not fall, though. But as for Sandy Creek, they stand right now. They're going to get the ball off the timeout here. I think Coach Notmeyer just wants his team to settle down, work the ball around the perimeter. Let's see if we can get it inside. If not, work it back outside and just run a nice offensive set, because we've yet to see that on either side of the court.
So the inbound coming up. Into Shaw, working very hard, just trying to get the ball off.
Harassing defense by Hartington Cedar Catholic. They really collapsed on the inside. Got a couple tall defenders down there through the Lady Trojans.
That is great defense.
6-footer, 5'10". They got some size.
In the front court is Madison Becker for Cedar Catholic. Heights. Lost it off her ankle. Nipping at her heels is Carrie Ann Shaw.
Somehow, Heights was able to keep her dribble.
That shot was partially blocked. Kept alive, though, offensively, and a wide open 18-footer by Jillian Fellmeyer. Gives Cedar Catholic a 4-0 lead.
But a good-looking jump shot. It was wide open.
And again, here comes that pressure. Now, we've got some openings on the floor, but instead, Hendricks will wait for teammates. Sandy Creek will set up their offense.
Sandy Creek, you need to know, most importantly, two names, Shaw and Hendricks. Pair of both.
All the way in. Knocked out of bounds. Sandy Creek in 2.5 minutes has still only gotten off, well, that was technically the second shot. Only 2 shots squeezed off in 2.5 minutes. Entry down low. And a foul.
That was a nice peel off the pick, down on the low block, and that's going to result in 2 free throws for Sandy Creek.
Molly Dickus, her first foul, first team foul against the Trojans. So the first points may come at the free throw line now for Carrie Ann Shaw. Carrie Ann, a 5'9" junior, averaging 13 points a game. Her and Michaela 2 years younger, came in with nearly identical point totals heading into this state tournament. She makes them both, and Sandy Creek's on the board, down 4-2.
Pretty easy break of the press by Hartington and Cedar Catholic. Their ball handlers look very comfortable.
Entry down low. Good rotation around to find open looks. An open look there, but misfire on the shot by Fellmeyer, and here come the Cougars. They want to run the floor, but the pass was taken away, stepping in front of his Pites. Pites, 3-on-2 down the floor, layup good.
Way to switch hands right as she split the defense. You saw her go with the right hand, went up strong, had the nice angle on the scoop, and it goes in for 2. Hartington Cedar Catholic up by 4 early.
And travel. Boy, Cedar Catholic doing what Sandy Creek used to do for years in this class.
Harassing defense, capitalize on the other end.
5 turnovers, Kevin, in 3 minutes and 15 seconds of this game.
And I mean, that can get you early too. You know, if you're not ready for it, and Hartington Cedar Catholic comes flying in your face, that can start a snowball.
Good look underneath. Shelby Newhoffen gives Hartington an 8-2 lead. Still in the backcourt. Now they break the count all the way through. Cougars just looking to set up something on offense here.
Just when you think you can take a breath, the Trojans come up with a steal.
Hyde steals it, and nope, she's going to be called with a travel. She thought she had done it again, this time switching hands from left to right, but apparently walked with the basketball. Turnover against Cedar Catholic. We'll take a look at it again.
I think it was right when she changed direction. That's where the extra step occurred.
8-2, taking it all the way in herself. Goes Carrie Ann Shaw, scrum for the loose ball. And a foul against the Cougars. And that one's going to be whistled on Michaela Shaw. That is her first. 3:57 left in the first quarter. Sandy Creek unable to get things going on offense early on.
Programming on NET television is made possible in part by U.S. Bank. Across Nebraska, the nation, and everywhere in between, U.S. Bank provides financial, trust, and investment services to individuals, large corporations, and small businesses. Wherever you go, whether it's in person, on the phone, or on the World Wide Web, you'll find U.S. Bank. You'll find more than 50,000 U.S. bankers, home of the 5-star service guarantee.
Programming made possible by Time Warner Cable, inspiring young people to build the skills they need in science, technology, engineering, and math to become the problem solvers of tomorrow. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
The Devaney Center alongside Kevin Suits. I'm John Bishop. Sandy Creek through 4 minutes and 3 seconds has attempted 3 shots. They haven't made one yet, thanks in large part to the 6 turnovers forced by Hartington Cedar Catholic with the ball and a 6-point lead. This is Kendra Lammers. The top it goes to Pites. They look for the low block entry, and the defense that time put on by the Cougars. Michaela Shaw, freshman, got her hand on the ball. Long inbound. She didn't need to do that necessarily. You can inbound from beyond. You can inbound beyond center court if you're coming in from underneath the basket. Look underneath, wide open look, and a foul. Cedar Catholic trying to take advantage of Shelby Newhoffen, the tallest player on the floor for either of these teams. She is the lone 6-footer in this game.
Again, they look for Newhoffen down low. They've done that about 3 straight possessions now. The Trojans really want to get the ball inside and utilize that height advantage. You see the full court press coming up from the Trojans.
Yeah, you've got to be able to handle the basketball in this game.
Yeah, it's hard to even maintain a dribble.
And again, look at that pressure out there and a foul. That'll be the third on Cedar Catholic.
And that's the other half of having a pretty aggressive defense. You're gonna foul some because you're so in your face. You're trying to create, a deflected pass, not to dribble away. Some refs who will whistle that, and some are just going to be natural fouls because you're going for that all the time. But that's okay if you have the bench to do it. Power to you.
So on the inbound, here comes Sandy Creek. 0 for their first 3. Shaw. All the way through. Stops, scores, and count it. So finally a field goal made here. And Michaela Shaw will go to the free throw line as the foul is going to be called on Dana Dickus. That is her first. Another look.
Nice taken to the paint. Went up strong. Had nice positioning and good body control. She's able to maintain, the way her shoulders were squared. A lot of times you see the offensive player drift on that when you're trying to go up as your body's cutting through the lane.
Ball was taken away by Sandy Creek. Good play on the other end by Michaela Shaw. So first offensively, now defensively. And Dickus picked up a quick second foul here. 14 fouls against Hartington.
That's a way to break the press.
And really didn't have enough space between teammates. As you saw, Carrie Ann Shaw and Tori Wheeler nearly coming together. Almost forced a turnover, but good body control by Shaw. And just like that, Sandy Creek's within 1. And now, after the turnover, they got a chance to take the lead. So things have changed here rather rapidly, I might add, too.
It was all about getting the monkey off the back. That first field goal happened less than a minute ago, and right after they got 1 in, they got 2.
Carrie Ann Shaw. Michaela Shaw moves around, looks for the open shot, does Hendricks, but no such luck. Under 2 minutes to go, first quarter. Cedar Catholic leads it 8-7, all the way up and through. Kendra Lammers, good penetration between defenders. Defense was slow to commit. Foul in the backcourt off that press.
Yeah, Lammers had just a slight bit of hesitation there. That allowed her to get to the basketball hoop. Enough to catch Hendricks on her heels, and then she just blew right by her. That lane was wide open, allowing for the 2 to go in pretty easily. Hartington now up 10-7.
Madison Becker, though, with her second personal foul. And the senior averages 6 points a game, is on the bench. 5 team fouls already against Hartington in this first quarter. That, of course, a product of the pressure that they have brought in this game so far. Tori Wheeler.
See, now Sandy Creek looks so much more comfortable in their offense. Now that they're not having the troubles getting it across the timeline, they're able to set up a little motion, try to work around some screens and get a good look. I know they turned the ball over that last sequence, but they just seem, you can see it in their eyes, you can see it in their body language. They feel a lot more confident and comfortable on the court. That's half the battle when you're playing on Championship Saturday at the Devaney Center.
Get over those initial nerves.
You got it.
Yep. Good jump shot there by Montana Hendricks. You've got Morgan Hendricks, Montana Hendricks, and you've got the Shaws, Carrie Ann and Michaela. It's a sister act there. You've got 3 sets of Dickus girls on Hartington Cedar Catholic. If you're not related, you're not playing this game apparently. Sandy Creek down 1 with a chance for the lead here under a minute to go in the first quarter. Michaela Shaw. Trying to work her way for a shot. Finds an open teammate at the baseline. Montana Hendricks, good play by Michaela Shaw. She drew the defense in, curled a pass around to the other side, and Sandy Creek's got their first lead.
Yeah, it was great recognition to know that the double team had come. One of your teammates had slipped free, position to get in a wide open jump shot.
Good pass down low by Pites. And that'll draw the foul by Sandy Creek's Michaela Shaw. And that is the second one on her.
Right through the wickets. Right through Shaw's legs. I like that battle right there, the individual battle between Newmeyer and Shaw. That's 43 in white and 30 in red. Newmeyer's at the free throw line. Newhoffen rather.
Shelby Newhoffen averages just about 10 points a game, but missed both free throws. Final seconds ticking away. Will they get off a last desperation shot? They will not. And Sandy Creek, after falling behind early, will take a 1-point lead into the second quarter. It's 11-10. Sandy Creek over Hartington Cedar Catholic in the Class C2 championship game.
Hey, college doesn't just happen. You have to push yourself as you go through high school. Don't be afraid to take classes like Algebra 2, Biology, or a foreign language. They can help raise your ACT score and prepare you for college. I wasn't the smartest kid in high school, but I took the tough classes and I passed. So what are you waiting for? Push yourself over to your counselor's office and sign up for them. They won't be easy, but you'll be glad you did.
Thanks to the personal investment of more than 1,800 Sports Partners Club members, NET will deliver over 200 hours of exciting sports action this year. Who else brings you Husker Volleyball, Big Red Wrap-Up, and all of the other outstanding college and high school sports action to every home in Nebraska? NET is Nebraska's home for sports, and sports partners like you make it happen. Log on to netnebraska.org/sportspartners and explore the many benefits of joining the Sports Partners Club.
Cedar Catholic student section seeing red, both teams seeing red. It's like a Nebraska home game in here. Welcome back to the Devaney Center. Second quarter of Class C2. Sandy Creek with the basketball and a 1-point lead. And look at that, not even looking at the ball. And Fellmeyer pushes it ahead. But the layup, no good. Good recovery defense there by Sandy Creek. Fellmeyer wasn't even looking for that inbound and got the steal.
No harm done though. Still at 11-10 in favor of Sandy Creek.
Oh, we're looking weak side underneath, up and in. First time in the game for Brianna Slick. And Slick makes her presence felt right away. She gets the ball down low, throws up a little baby hook, and it's 13-10.
Slick brings in a nice post presence for Sandy Creek. They bring her in right when Hartington Cedar Catholic just took out Newhoffen.
Catch and shoot three-pointer by Julian Fellmeyer has tied things up.
John, we've had over 9 minutes to really evaluate these two teams, and just looking at them from what we've seen so far, they seem very evenly matched.
Yeah, for the most part, you know, after Sandy Creek figured out how to handle Hartington's pressure.
That was the trick for Sandy Creek, but now that we've, got acclimated and we're starting to make friends with each other, I think we're figuring out that these two teams, they're pretty similar. They can shoot from the perimeter, they can bang it inside. I like the way that each of them stack up. There's some nice individual matchups in there too.
13-13 our score, 6:35 left in the first half. Heights for Becker. They'll look inside out, three on the way, good! Fellmeyer again.
Yeah, Trojans are getting hot now, especially Fellmeyer. I mean, she just sized that thing up and stuck it.
Hendricks to her sister, but a traveling is called. Turnover against Sandy Creek. They'll give it right back to Cedar Catholic, and that will bring Michaela Shaw back in off the bench.
Timeout on the floor.
6 minutes and 8 seconds left in the first half. A couple of threes have put Hartington in front.
You're on vacation in the mountains. You've got the kids, the dog, and your tent. Your son says, hiking is lame, so you try rock climbing. It ends up being harder than it looks. Now you're in the hospital wishing you'd stayed home. But you've got Blue Cross and Blue Shield, so you know you're covered, even though you're out of state. So you relax, which is why you went on vacation in the first place. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. One less thing to worry about.
Programming on NET Television is provided in part by NPPD, Nebraska Public Power District, applauding the dedication, teamwork, and sportsmanship of Nebraska high school athletes. Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. Time Warner Cable, inspiring young people to build the skills they need in science, technology, engineering, and math to become the problem solvers of tomorrow.
Cedar Catholic fans dreaming of a state championship. Their program has not won one since 1986, the lone girls championship. Sandy Creek, though, highly decorated, rattled off 6 straight from 1996 through 2001, and that last victory in the streak was over Cedar Catholic in 01. Russ Ninemeyer overall 8 state titles at Sandy Creek. Traveling is the call against Kendra Lammers. Turnover against Cedar Catholic. That is their 8th. The Cougars have 10. No, you can't argue with the success. Russ Ninemeyer has enjoyed over 33 seasons. Last year, Sandy Creek just a 12-12 team, and they only returned 1 starter, Carrie Ann Shaw. So with a young, inexperienced lineup, Sandy Creek has forged their way into the state championship game. Another travel.
Well, and Sandy Creek kind of went through the ringer this year, too, when you look up and down their schedule. First off, just playing in the Southern Nebraska Conference, it was really talented this season. You look up and down some of these games, drawing Sutton. Milford had a pretty good season. Superior was good. They played some really talented competition. Lawrence Nelson made a nice run here at state. Beat Kearney Catholic. And we keep on going. Challenged almost every night out.
We've had travelings on 3 straight possessions now. Cedar Catholic having problems of their own getting it into the front court, but they break the press. Now they've got some numbers from the corner. This time, Fellmeyer, maybe she was too close this time.
Got to back it up and get behind the three-point arc.
There's a good entry pass, and the English on it. Dana Dickus rolls it down to make it a 5-point lead for the Trojans. Tana Hendricks into the front court. Ashley Harms now back to Hendricks, back to Harms. Through defenders, layup good. Carrie Ann Shaw willing her way to the basket.
Shaw just tucked that thing like she was a running back.
She did.
You know, didn't want to fumble the football. Just right through the lane, put it off the window for 2.
And then steals it away by herself in the backcourt. Carrie Ann Shaw has closed a 5-point deficit down to 1 by herself. Now Hartington safely into the front court. Madison Becker.
Looks like
Shaw is all over her.
Looks like both teams are starting to get a bit fatigued, Jim. I mean, they're expending a lot of energy, both teams, defensively especially.
There's a runner by Madison Becker. After she had all kinds of pressure from Shaw in the corner, she said, to heck with that. What you can do, I can do too. No tie-up, a foul instead. Will be called on Cedar Catholic. Madison Becker has picked up her 3rd foul, and she will likely sit for the rest of this half. Of the 16 fouls, Becker has 3 of them. Should take a look at Russ Ninemeyer, the head coach of Sandy Creek. His team down 3 here, but with the basketball.
They're facing a little zone action here from Hartington Cedar Catholic. Very versatile on their defenses, the Lady Trojans.
Shaw, shot blocked. Cedar Catholic trying to rush the floor. Takes it in, layup no, but free throws upcoming for Kendra Lammers. Lammers now going to have to play a bigger role with Madison Becker on the bench. And the reach in there from Morgan Hendricks, which is her 2nd personal foul. 3 minutes, 17 seconds left. We'll have free throws when we come back.
Programming on NET Television is provided in part by U.S. Bank, committed to customer service through performance, products, and people. U.S. Bank, proud sponsor of the Nebraska School Activities Association, member FDIC. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska, one less thing to worry about. Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, grants, and college planning services. Blazing fastballs, spectacular strikeouts, fan pandemonium, and an eye-catching name. Take an intimate glimpse at Nebraska native and now New York Yankees pitcher Jabba Chamberlain, the people, places, and events which have influenced his road to success in Yesterdays, the Jabba Chamberlain story, Tuesday night at 7 Central on NET1 and NET HD. Plus, Jabba's father, Harlan, and Husker baseball coach Mike Anderson will be in the studio to let you know how you can get Husker baseball tickets and signed baseballs.
If giving up losing for Lent is acceptable, how much of a sacrifice is that, really? I mean, is that against the spirit of the Lenten season? Well, either way, Cedar Catholic has certainly given up losing this weekend, having won 2 straight here at State, 7 in a row overall since a 61-47 decision at the hands of West Point Central Catholic. They lead here by 3, and they'll have the ball back after the turnover. Inside for Newhoffen.
Yeah, you see Newhoffen get back in the ballgame. Now it's the first thing that the Lady Trojans wanted to do, get the ball back inside to her. Remember, the last time she was on the floor, clearly the focal point of that offense.
Oh, head fake the jumper, opened herself up for a closer shot, and we're going to have a reach-in foul. And that's going to be on Lammers. I'm sorry, yeah, that's against Kendra Lammers.
You know, Harding and Cedar Catholic does a really good job creating open looks, whether it be off the pass, peeling off the screen, or just like we saw from Lammers, the head fake. Get a hard dribble. It was an open look, it just didn't fall.
So Carrie Ann Shaw to the free throw line. This is 1-1 after the 7th team foul on the Trojans. Made the first, will get the second. Shaw with now 9 points, leading all Sandy Creek scorers. Fellmeyer for Hartington Cedar Catholic leading all scorers with 10.
Well, Fellmeyer hit those 2 big threes that helped jumpstart Sandy Creek's offense.
Cedar Catholic here by 2, under 2.5 minutes to play in the first half. Lammers, they'll move it into the corner. That's Fellmeyer's spot. He has it back. Patience shown right here. He was definitely settled into a half-court game. Double dribble, I beg your pardon.
Wow, how far have we come since the start of this contest? That's a very
totally
beginning.
different.
It was up and down. It was a track meet, and now we're slowing it down. You see the Trojans aren't even applying that full court press anymore. I wouldn't be surprised to see it at the start of the second half.
Oh, absolutely. We haven't seen the last of it. All the way in. Jumper, no. High leaping rebound by Michaela Shaw, but she couldn't come away with it. Instead, it's Hartington basketball. Molly Dickus. Lammers. Open 3. Rolls off this time, no good by Fellmeyer. She's already got 2 of them in this game, but they've both been from the corner.
Yeah, and even that miss, it was pretty on line.
Thought about a 3 for a moment, did Ashley Harms. Shaw, Wheeler. The end of the corner for Schlick. Down through the lane, once again carrying that ball like a fullback to keep it in her arm, and then at the last minute she'll underhook a layup. Didn't work that time.
You know when Shaw wants to try to get to the hoop and score. She makes it pretty obvious.
Ball moved around to an open look for Molly Dickus, but no such luck that time, and a traveling is called on Cedar Catholic, so a turnover. And that is the 13th of the game against the Lady Trojans. And Sandy Creek now with 45.9 seconds left Will they hold here, or will they just run their offense? Carrie Ann Shaw to Michaela Shaw. Play catch well away from the basket, under 30 seconds left. Not really as cognizant of the time here, and the pass was deflected. Landers came away with it on the steal for Cedar Catholic. Now they get to play for the last shot with 13 seconds left in the half. Someone needs to get a shot off, and that one's going to be blocked. Carrie Ann Shaw, as Hartington Cedar Catholic really never had anything set up for a last-second shot. Instead, kind of a desperation heave there that was blocked by Shaw, and we will go to halftime with a 2-point lead. Hartington Cedar Catholic 20 and Sandy Creek 18. It was a game that was defined by full court pressure in the first quarter and then settled more into a half court game in the second period. Let's go down courtside. Kevin Suits standing by with Terry Cottle of Hartington Cedar Catholic.
Coach, up by 2. You've had some things go your way, especially in that second quarter.
Yeah, defensively we got to, execute a little bit better with what we're trying to do defensively. Offensively we had some, passes inside we need to do a little bit better job of, get a little bit more out of our perimeter players as well.
What are you going to tell the girls at halftime?
Well, we got to play better defense. We're not executing our defense like really we want to. We got to make sure that we're doing just a little bit better job there. Getting on the offensive boards probably a little bit harder as well.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Halftime score: Sandy Creek trailing Hartington Cedar Catholic 20-18.
Live coverage of the 2010 NSAA State High School Basketball Championships is brought to you in part by Southeast Community College. Offers more than 50 technical and academic transfer programs. Train for a new skill or retrain for an existing one. SCC provides hands-on learning. One Oak Energy Marketing. Natural gas from One Oak. The one in energy. Concordia University, Nebraska is a Christ-centered community ready to prepare students for a life of leadership and service. Where futures begin, community colleges, Central, Metro, Mid-Plains, Northeast, Southeast, or Western Nebraska community colleges.
You're watching NET1 and NET HD.
This fall on PBS, director Ken Burns changes parks. Don't miss the all-new 10th inning of baseball.
Coming this fall to NET1.
Hello, I'm Jeff Beckman, and I'd like to visit with you about investing in an estate gift to NET. If you want your legacy to live on through NET television programs, you can accomplish your goal by leaving a generous estate gift to the NET Endowment Fund. Your legacy gift will ensure that future Nebraskans enjoy the programs you've watched throughout the decades. Call me today to arrange your estate gift to the NET Foundation.
Nebraska, we asked and you delivered. You gave us good cooks, treasured recipes, and celebrated family stories. I'm Chef Brian O'Malley, your host of NET's program, The Recipe Box. Join us as we celebrate the culinary heritage of Nebraska through its food and its cherished stories that make us savor the taste of home.
Coming March 20th at 2 Central on NET1 and NET HD. Plus, find out how you can meet the cooks and sample the recipes from the program at the new Institute for the Culinary Arts in Omaha.
Ballots were sent out and the votes were tallied by Channel 1011. This is your Class C2 All-State team. According to the coaches that have turned in votes, it's a pretty good class. Courtney Klassen, Katie Hollebeck, Casey Stoltz, Dana Dickus, and Mary Grossroads of North Bend Central. Pretty all-around good athletes on that list, John, from top to bottom. These aren't necessarily scorers. There's a few of them that really pride themselves on putting the ball in the hoop, but all-around good basketball players in terms of assists, rebounds, and putting the ball in.
And it kind of shows you how Class C2 worked out this year, because it wasn't necessarily the teams that had the singular outstanding player that made it to state. Only one of those players, Dana Dickus, who we're seeing here tonight, was on a state qualifying team, and tonight Dickus held to just 2 points in that first half, so she really hasn't been a big part of this offense, though her team is up by 2 points.
Yeah, and also looking at Class C2, there were a couple teams that really stood out this year. They had no representation on the All-State team. That's Elmwood Murdoch and West Point Central Catholic, both teams that made quite a bit of noise here at the state championship.
Yep, no question about it, but the coaches made their vote. There's your Class C2 state all-team. All-state team. Back with more in a minute.
You can see it on the horizon. Nebraska's landscape is changing. Wind has been a part of Nebraska Public Power District's generation mix since 1998. NPPD supports the development of wind power generation in the state. But wind is variable and does not produce electricity 24/7. Other generation resources like coal and nuclear will remain necessary. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility.
You're on vacation in the mountains. You've got the kids, the dog, and your tent. Your son says hiking is lame, so you try rock climbing. It ends up being harder than it looks. Now you're in the hospital wishing you'd stayed home. But you've got Blue Cross and Blue Shield, so you know you're covered, even though you're out of state. So you relax, which is why you went on vacation in the first place. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. One less thing to worry about.
Hey, college doesn't just happen. You have to push yourself as you go through high school. Don't be afraid to take classes like Algebra 2, Biology, or a foreign language. They can help raise your ACT score and prepare you for college. I wasn't the smartest kid in high school, but I took the tough classes and I passed. So what are you waiting for? Push yourself over to your counselor's office and sign up for them. They won't be easy, but you'll be glad you did.
Cedar Catholic up 20-18 at halftime in Class C2 as we take a look at the first half numbers. And after Sandy Creek struggled to only get off 3 shots in the first 4 minutes of this game, they've done a lot better job. 7 of 14 for the game at 50%. Arlington Cedar Catholic with 38. Really no advantage in rebounds and in turnovers for either squad. First half highlights for Sandy Creek. Getting some work underneath from Michaela Shaw. That completed a 3-point play. Brianna Schlick off the bench for 2. But it was Carrie Ann Shaw who made a couple of plays similar to this and scoring there. That is 2 of her 9. But for Arlington Cedar Catholic, great ball handling by Tracy Pites and inside presence from Shelby Newhalfen. But it was a pair of threes out of Jillian Fellmeyer. She's got 2 threes. 10 points to lead all scorers in the first half. Cedar Catholic 20, Sandy Creek 18. We'll hear from head coach Russ Steinmeier of the Cougars when we come back.
Boo! Hey, where are you going? You can't get by me. I'm number 1 in this class. I rule this lab. I'm number 1. Hey, I don't think so. Yes! Winner! I am a king! Woo!
You wouldn't do it there. So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
What?
Jerk.
Programming on NET Television is provided in part by NPPD, Nebraska Public Power District, applauding the dedication, teamwork, and sportsmanship of Nebraska high school athletes. Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. Time Warner Cable, inspiring young people to build the skills they need in science, technology, engineering, and math to become the problem solvers of tomorrow.
I'm Ray Suarez, senior correspondent for the PBS NewsHour. Increased international reporting is just one aspect of our new broadcast. For in-depth reporting of global events that affect your life, as well as complete coverage of top domestic news, tune into the new PBS NewsHour.
Class C2 championship, Hardington Cedar Catholic leading Sandy Creek at half, 20-18 the score. Russ, your team's down by 2. What'd you tell them at the break here?
Well, you know, I thought the first half we did play very relaxed. We were making a lot of silly mistakes. We just got to get our confidence up rolling, get the offense going. I thought our defense played pretty well. Our offense were just slow, it looks like, and we were nervous. So play a little confidence second half and make things happen for us.
What's going to be the difference down the stretch? Is it that composure and just maintaining ball control?
I think so. I think it's going to get the ball in the hole, get some easy shots. You know, see if we can pick the tempo up on defense a little bit on them and make this game into a full court offense deal.
Russ, thank you. Good luck in the second half. Again, halftime in Class C2, Hardington Cedar Catholic leading Sandy Creek 20-18.
Programming made possible by Time Warner Cable, inspiring young people to build the skills they need in science, technology, engineering, and math to become the problem solvers of tomorrow. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
Soy biodiesel from Nebraska soybeans lowers our dependence on foreign oil. It has properties that reduce engine wear. And it burns without harmfully polluting the atmosphere. The Nebraska Soybean Board encourages the use of soy biodiesel.
Programming on NET Television is provided in part by the Dr. Tom and Dorothy Hallstrom Inspire Nebraska Athletics Endowment.
Celtic Thunder, it's entertainment. And he's a bad, bad Leroy Brown. And I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500. Celtic Thunder, in an unforgettable concert performance. Serving USA. Celtic Thunder, it's entertainment.
Sunday night at 8 Central Time on NET1.
16 minutes of basketball to go for one of these two teams to earn a state championship in Class C2. Hardington Cedar Catholic with the lead, but Sandy Creek will have the basketball first to start the second half. And we talked at halftime about how Dana Dickus, despite the fact she's an all-stater, averages 12 points a game, a very, very quiet first half with just 2 points. In fact, of the big 3 scores for Hardington Cedar Catholic, it's been Newhoffen with those 2 threes that has been the offense so far for Cedar Catholic. And for Sandy Creek, well, so far, Michaela Shaw, not bad, 5 points. She averages 13 a game, but it's Sandy Creek trying to get a gauge on that defense, and all the way through and count the basket right off the get-go. Carrie Ann Shaw, we saw her do that early in the second quarter, and she's tied it up with a layup, has a chance to give her team the lead.
John, we kind of predicted that. Coach Ninemeyer was saying at the locker room, you know, we really got to assert ourselves. We got to be the ones to set the tone in the second half because it's a close contest. I know we're down, but if we can take that lead and take that lead early, we can make them play a little catch-up and completely change the complexion of this contest.
Third lead change of the game has given Sandy Creek 21-20 edge. A good start to the second half. Much smoother start offensively for the Cougars than it was in the first quarter. Now a steal. Here's Shaw again. And they'll set the offense. The younger sister, Michaela. Now the ball swings back over to Carrie Ann Shaw. Down low at the baseline, rolls it in. Ashley Harms.
That was a good bucket by Harms. That was a tough angle. Spun baseline side. And that's kind of had low trajectory on that thing. Still got it to creep over the rim and go down.
Cedar Catholic finds themselves down 3. A 5-0 run here to start the second half. There goes Dickus, and they'll call the timeout. Carrie Ann Shaw came down with the ball at the same time as Dana Dickus. That forces the tie-up. Possession arrow remains with Hartington, but good defense there. Watch this again.
Well, Dickus brought the ball down below her shoulders, and the second you do that, it's kind of fair game for anybody around there to grab it and tie it up.
Dickus.
See, there she goes. She's keeping it high there. Excellent work by Dana Dickus down low.
Just her second field goal in the game. She's got 4. 23-22, Sandy Creek. Hendricks and Shaw.
Hartington Cedar Catholic now in a man-to-man. They're switching it up again defensively.
And again, a feed down low. And Ashley Harms. Second straight time down the floor for her. She's been able to score underneath the basket. 25-22. Runner, yes! Jillian Fellmeyer. Nice baseline runner there.
Yeah, good take. What is it? We're seeing a lot of offense here. The full first half was about defense, good stops, creating turnovers. Now all of a sudden we're getting buckets on both ends of the floor.
Stop, you're making me dizzy.
It's almost like one team scores in the half court, the other team comes down, does the same.
A little bit of energy coming out of the locker room.
A little bit of good coaching. I think it's a little bit of good coaching on both ends.
Traveling's going to be called, though, here on Montana Hendricks. And Sandy Creek gives it up, so now Cedar Catholic with a chance to get the lead back. They led by 2 at halftime. They find themselves down 1 right here early. Kendra Lammers. Knocked away by Shaw again. And a foul heading to the basket. No shots. As Lammers reached in to try to stop the progression of Carrie Ann Shaw.
Lammers just started to go back for the basketball after she had it taken away, and just some incidental contact.
Shaw, pull-up jumper, no. Rebound, Dickus, they're gonna have numbers. Will she take it in all the way? No, she'll pull it back. Not necessarily her shot. But then they try to work it into her in the post, and nothing doing as Michaela Shaw turns them away.
A lot of traffic there in the post. Kind of a forced pass by the Trojans.
Foul in the corner of the bump.
If you're wondering about Russ Neinmeyer and his attire right now, he lost the red coat. I asked him about that off camera. He was just hot. I don't think there was any coat tossing in the locker room. He said hot as in temperature.
5:04 left in the third quarter. Sandy Creek, 25-24.
Programming on NET television is made possible in part by U.S. Bank. Across Nebraska, the nation, and everywhere in between, U.S. Bank provides financial, trust, and investment services to individuals, large corporations, and small businesses. Wherever you go, whether it's in person, on the phone, or on the World Wide Web, you'll find U.S. Bank. You'll find more than 50,000 U.S. bankers, home of the 5-star service guarantee.
Please consider joining fellow public television supporters by naming NET Television in your estate plans. When you meet with your advisors, ask about ways you can create a legacy gift to benefit NET Television. Your support will sustain your heritage of giving far into the future. Call me directly or visit our website for more information.
John Bishop and Kevin Suits back at the Devaney Sports Center. Russ Neinmeyer, sans jacket, will watch his Cougars inbound in front of him. Neinmeyer wanted the foul, the reach in, the hold. And again, Pites really pressuring Hendricks. There she is again. Really aggressive.
She was close that time.
Pites.
I mean, the second she sees that dribble start to slip away from the body of it, she's going after it. So she went down on the ground to try to get it. See, it's free, but you got a bit of the arm as she went down to the floor to get the basketball.
That's the second foul on Pites, 14th foul
She
on
wants
Hartington.
that. Look at her. Look at those eyes.
She is constantly watching that ball. Ball between the legs, lost it out of bounds.
You know, Pikes is really what you want out of a defender at the point. You want somebody with some long limbs that's not afraid to take some chances, and that's pretty overall athletic. She kind of reminds me of Amber Hagee of Crofton a few years ago. She was a great point defender because she can meet the ball when it comes across the timeline, and she just very gifted athletically, but just the way she can have active hands and that long wingspan can create so much havoc.
Yeah,
and that's where your defensive success really starts.
Helps to have long limbs. Heights thought about driving in. Thought better of it. Cedar Catholic down by 1 here. Now Pikes with an open 3, but that's well short of the mark. Rebound to Ashley Harm.
Yeah, she knew it when she let it go too. She winced just a little bit. Probably wishes she would have had that possession back.
Carrie Ann Shaw, Morgan Hendricks. There she is again. Pikes just watching that ball like a hawk. And timeout, Russ Neinmeyer. He wants a 30-second timeout. He didn't like what he saw on that offensive set. And Neinmeyer burns his second timeout of the game. 3 left for Sandy Creek. Hardington with 4 timeouts remaining with 3:47 left to go. And a little bit of animation in that huddle. Meanwhile, more calm here for Terry Cottle and the Lady Trojans. 3 minutes and 47 seconds left to go here in this third period. We have had 3 lead changes in this game. We've been tied twice. Ball was kicked, and they'll have to inbound it and reset. But no shot clock, so don't worry about that either. Almost stolen away. Cutting in front of that was Molly Dickus. But she last touched it, so it's off her hands and out of bounds. And again, Sandy Creek will inbound. Long possession here. Tried to get it inside. That is a risky pass. Trying to muscle it up between 2 defenders. Somehow, Carrie Ann Shaw comes out of there with the basketball and then feeds underneath to her sister, Michaela. You got to give a lot of credit to Carrie Shaw right there because she kept that alive when it looked like it was a lost cause.
Yeah, I really don't know how Carrie Ann Shaw even kept that basketball. She had a low dribble, split about 3 defenders, and was able to squeeze off a pass from about 3 feet away.
Sandy Creek basketball. As there was a scrum for the loose ball and is knocked out of bounds by Cedar Catholic. Sandy Creek with a 3-point lead. Substitutions coming in. We'll see Shelby Newhoffen re-enter the game for Cedar Catholic.
It's a big possession for Sandy Creek to maybe try to inch away from the Trojans, but it all starts with taking care of the basketball. Sandy Creek has put together a pretty nice third quarter here, and that's one of the main reasons why. Harms.
Shaw, yes. Ashley Harms was not going to get anything out of it, but Shaw was right there to pick up the loose change and cash it in for 2 more. 29-24, Shaw has 10. Long 2 is short. Rebound again to the Cougars, who have put up the stops here on Hardington. They have not scored a field goal in the last 4 minutes.
I don't know if there's anything to this, but the past few long jump shots for Hardington Cedar Catholic have been short. Peitz's and then Dix's, that last one. Remember, they played an overtime game last night, late in the night. And now they're playing again late night tonight. So I don't know if there's any fatigue setting in for the Trojans, but just an observation, the last 2 shots have come up short.
Shelby Newhoffen with the foul. That is her first, and team foul number 5 on Cedar Catholic. It'll be an inbound, and off the inbound 3 on the way. A little too long, but the offensive rebound and the putback, no good. And Fellmeyer comes away with it for Hardington. They need a field goal here.
And if you want, I'd look to Fellmeyer. She's been the hot hand so far today. She has a dozen.
Newhoffen. Fellmeyer outside. Becker. Madison Becker back in the game, Kevin, with 3 fouls.
I think they're trying to work it inside to Newhoffen. Just watch them on the perimeter. They're looking inside to see if that's open. And so far, nothing doing. Sandy Creek, good defense down in the post.
Well, we talked in the first quarter about how that defense was making it happen. How does she get that pass in there? Really? Shelby Newhoffen literally threading the needle to Molly Dickus. That pass did not look like it was going to reach its target because there were too many defenders in between. And then back on the defensive end, foul on Cedar Catholic. Watch this again. You got a defender in front and then 2 defenders right there. And you had to hit a moving target in Dickus, and then Dickus had to turn back and head to the hole. Well executed play. But Newhoffen picks up the foul, and that is her 3rd. And that means free throws for Michaela Shaw. Michaela Shaw with 7 points.
Wow, look at the foul discrepancy right now. Hartington Cedar Catholic, 7 fouls in this half. Sandy Creek, 0.
It is not often you see a discrepancy that wide. (31-26). Sandy Creek leads by 5. Well, that was an ill-advised pass. Too many active hands and too many defenders in between the passer and the receiver. Turnover against Cedar Catholic. Shaw draws a double team, so they'll move it around. Yes.
Good
Ashley Harms.
Yeah, Harms has come up with a few big jump shots for Sandy Creek. I think she now has 8 points on the night.
And for the first time, we have a foul, so that stat just became null and void, but it's a 7-1 advantage right now. Hartington Cedar Catholic already has Sandy Creek in the bonus for the rest of the game. And we still have 34 seconds.
A bit worked up about that.
Yeah, still 30 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Bringing it all the way into the front court. Becker, though, fumbled it away.
Yeah, otherwise, that unfolded nicely for the Trojans. There's a good steal by Dickus.
Here comes Pites. No, too strong. She switched hands that time, but she was too strong off the glass. A big opportunity missed for Hartington, and now Sandy Creek with 4 with 3 seconds. Can get off the last second shot before the buzzer. Had a little more time than that, but Morgan Hendricks off the mark. We have played 3 quarters. Sandy Creek 33, Hartington Cedar Catholic 26.
Programming on NET Television is provided in part by U.S. Bank, committed to customer service through performance, products, and people. U.S. Bank, proud sponsor of the Nebraska School Activities Association, member FDIC. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska, one less thing to worry about. Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, grants, and college planning services. Blazing fastballs, spectacular strikeouts, fan pandemonium, and an eye-catching name. Take an intimate glimpse at Nebraska native and now New York Yankees pitcher Jabba Chamberlain, the people, places, and events which have influenced his road to success in Yesterdays, the Jabba Chamberlain story, Tuesday night at 7 Central on NET1 and NET HD. Plus, Jabba's father, Harlan, and Husker baseball coach Mike Anderson will be in the studio to let you know how you can get Husker baseball tickets and signed baseballs.
Eight minutes left. Sandy Creek took a 2-point deficit, turned it into a 7-point lead. Biggest lead of the game for the Cougars. And they have the ball to start the 4th quarter.
You can assume Cedar Catholic is going to try to end this the way they started it, with some really high defensive intensity. They need some stops.
But they didn't get one there. Ashley Harms now joins the players in double figures with 10. Cedar Catholic down by 9, and they lose it again. The 18th turnover of the game against the Lady Trojans. Cedar Catholic is in some trouble here early on in the quarter. Not only because they're down on the scoreboard, they've got 17 fouls. They've got a couple of players with 3 each, and their top scorer, Dana Dickus, has been held in check to just 4 points. And that just opened it up to an 11-point game as Harms has come alive here in the second half.
That was way too easy for Sandy Creek. Just a simple inbounds, and Harms went unaccounted for right after she inbounded the basketball.
Remember in the first quarter how we said Sandy Creek just doesn't look comfortable in their offense?
Right.
Well, the roles have reversed here in the second half.
I think a lot of that had to do with halftime, and Russ Neinmeyer, I'm sure, kind of went to the drawing board and was looking at what Hartington Cedar Catholic was doing successfully defensively, made some adjustments, and that's how he was probably able to create some open looks for Harms. Harms has had a nice third quarter, and now it's carried over to their fourth. Shaw's had a few big buckets, so I think a lot of this, the credit has to go to the coaching for Sandy Creek.
Well, Dana Dickus will go to the free throw line here, and she misses the first, and you could see the look on her face. She finally had an opportunity to go in uncontested, and Morgan Hendricks, even though she committed the foul, just the look on Dickus's face was that of disgust. It has been a frustrating evening for Hartington's top scorer. We'll be back.
You can see it on the horizon. Nebraska's landscape is changing. Wind has been a part of Nebraska Public Power District's generation mix since 1998. NPPD supports the development of wind power generation in the state. But wind is variable and does not produce electricity 24/7. Other generation resources like coal and nuclear will remain necessary. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility.
Soy biodiesel from Nebraska soybeans lowers our dependence on foreign oil. It has properties that reduce engine wear. And it burns without harmfully polluting the atmosphere. The Nebraska Soybean Board encourages the use of soy biodiesel.
Second free throw for Dana Dickus. She'll convert one. And it's a 10-point game, and then a ill-advised pass down the floor and a turnover, a senseless turnover for the Cougars.
Yeah, no need to force anything right now for Sandy Creek, but Hartington Cedar Catholic will certainly take it.
They'll look for Dickus. She'll take it in, and fouls on the floor. And they'll whistle it on Michaela Shaw, and that is her third. Look for Dickus again. Boy, now the tie-up. Hartington's going to keep possession. You can really see the frustration on her face. Talking about Dana Dickus, number 50 for Hartington Cedar Catholic.
Well, she's not only being defended by one Shaw, 2 Shaws. Both the girls are collapsing on her nearly every time she touches the basketball.
So after the tie-up, there's Dickus again. This time, nobody on her. She released and got the layup.
It was a great seal by Dickus, and the second she caught it, you know she was going straight up with it. So she let her momentum carry her toward the basket, stayed under control. Nice 2 for Dickus.
And now Russ Neinmeyer wants a timeout, sensing there might be a change of momentum here after Sandy Creek commits the traveling violation. With 6 minutes and 20 seconds left, Hartington, can they cash in on this opportunity? Down by 8.
Programming made possible by Time Warner Cable, inspiring young people to build the skills they need in science, technology, engineering, and math to become the problem solvers of tomorrow. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
You're watching NET1 and NET HD.
Daniel O'Donnell celebrates his 10th PBS special, showcasing 2 decades of career highlights.
Daniel O'Donnell shares the sounds and the beauty of his homeland.
Lovesick fool that's blind and just can't see.
Coming Sunday, March 14th, beginning at 3:30 Central on NET1 and NET HD. Plus, find out how you can get tickets to his concert in Omaha.
Back at the Devaney Center. And the officials confused here who should have the ball. It should be Hartington Cedar Catholic basketball. Remember, it was Sandy Creek that turned it over. Here's the last basket right before that. Right before that turnover, as they finally were able to enter a pass to Dickus, who was not pressured. Now, after the bit of confusion, here's Cedar Catholic. Jump shot rolls off, no. It comes back to her. And a foul. Should go to the line and shoot two as Jillian Fellmeyer fighting her way. And just take a look at her jersey. It's already, of course, a dark red color, but she's been working very hard tonight. The back of that jersey soaked with perspiration.
She did a big bulk of the scoring for the Trojans in the first half. Been a little silent here in the second half, but opened up the window for her teammates to get going, like Dana Dickus. We're getting a sense that Dickus is really starting to take over the offensive load for Hartington Cedar Catholic.
Both free throws are good, and it's down to a 6-point game. Here comes Shaw all the way into the front court. Now she's going to get trapped in the corner. Trying to get away. Knocked out of bounds. Good defense that time by Cedar Catholic. Turning up the heat here, sensing that they've got some momentum on their side now. Michaela Shaw. Oh, that could have been a walk, and instead it turns into a three-point play opportunity.
Wow, that changed in a blink of an eye. It looked like it was going to be a turnover. Instead, a potential to make this a 9-point game.
Yeah, Michaela Shaw looked like she drugged that pivot foot, but she was in traffic, so it was a little hard to see, unless you saw it from our angle, or the angle of the Hartington Cedar Catholic fans who just so happen to be right behind us.
Yes.
The free throw is good, so momentum squelched a bit by the three-point play. 5:59 left, Hartington still with wood to chop here, down by 9. Gets into Dickus, now to Pites. Good accurate pass, sends him into the front court, and they're gonna call a traveling there on Becker, and that is really gonna draw the ire of these Hartington fans who thought that the officials missed a traveling call just a few moments ago. And a costly turnover here for Hartington Cedar Catholic. They have committed 19 of them. Trapped in the backcourt. 10-second count is on. They need to get it across, and they do. Now they've got the numbers. Here comes Shaw. Yes.
It looked like they were going to get called for the 10 count, John. That was great backcourt defense by Cedar Catholic, but once Sandy Creek got the ball in the middle of the court, things opened up, and the Cougars were able to cash in.
Baseline jumper, and a badly needed one by Molly Dickus. 42-33, stolen away, layup up, good! There's Tracy Pites. And just like that, it's a 7-point game. Here comes that pressure, ball knocked away, but she's not gonna be able to keep it. But Fellmeyer almost came away with yet another turnover. And Sandy Creek feeling heat here in the backcourt, and the Hartington fans on their feet right now, trying to will their team back with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, this team's going to leave it all out on the court. You get the sense of that right now, and they're going to try to get it done with defense.
That's going to be a turnover out of bounds. It was the right idea by Shaw as Ashley Harms was coming in behind her.
You know, kudos to Hartington. They were just down double digits a few moments ago. Now a couple buckets have them right back to 7. And you get the sense that they almost have the momentum. They're down by 7, though.
Now they need to keep it with a good offensive possession right here. Becker, skip pass across the floor. Good ball movement, rotation around. They got wide open players on the wing on the other side. Here comes Pites all the way through, layup good. Tracy Pites With a couple of big baskets here in the last few minutes, and it's 42-37, and another Sandy Creek turnover.
Yeah, you talk about that momentum now. You can definitely sense that it has swung the other way. It's now in favor of the Trojans after that nice take by Pikes, and then they force a turnover. Cedar Catholic now with the chance to make this a 3-point, maybe 2-point game.
Cedar Catholic starting to come in waves right now. 3 on the way, short, follows the shot though, and keeps it alive. Pikes, entry pass, Dickus, good, and one, you can count it!
Huge bucket by Dickus, and good job by Cedar Catholic after getting a second chance. They went right to their bread and butter, get it inside to Dickus, Seal gets a little tack on the arm, puts it in for 2+1.
Dickus can make this a 2-point game. It was an 11-point game just moments ago. Missed the free throw, however. Still, it's down to 3. And they'll get a foul coming across. That'll be on Fellmeyer, and that is only her second. Now remember, it's free throws the rest of the way. Hartington had already put Sandy Creek in the bonus back in the third quarter. Montana Hendricks will shoot him, and it's going to be a 1-and-1, the last 1-and-1 free throws of the game. As the next foul will be the 10th. He'll get the second. Montana Hendricks, for the moment, squelching some of the momentum. She has 5. Missed the second. 43-39. Cedar Catholic can make it a 1-possession game right here.
They've been very crisp offensively over the past 3-4 minutes. I'll see what they have in store for us this time.
High lob, Dickus. Well defended by Shaw, and last touch by Cedar Catholic. Again, Carrie Shaw, the catalyst for that series. If she doesn't get her hand on it.
Yeah, she's a risky defender, but you kind of like that. Just someone to have a little gusto out there in a big situation.
And now Sandy Creek, strong to the hole. It's good. Michaela Shaw, 45-39. Back to a 6-point game. A little bit of breathing room now for the Cougars with just over 3 minutes to go. And Cedar Catholic get momentum back to the baseline, up. She'll shoot free throws. Jillian Fellmeyer. They will whistle it on Ashley Harms, which is her second. And we'll get a timeout here from Terry Cottle and Hartington Cedar Catholic. 3 minutes on the button left to play in this game. Free throws here for Hartington, 45-39 our score. The timeout situation, 2 remaining for Sandy Creek, 3 for Hartington. As we mentioned, Cedar Catholic has already put Sandy Creek into the bonus. Next foul is 2 free throws. Sandy Creek's next foul means 1-and-1 free throws for Cedar Catholic. Possession arrow belongs to the Cougars of Sandy Creek. As far as foul situation is concerned, nobody playing with 4 fouls at this point. So all hands on deck right here with 3 minutes to play in the game.
For Sandy Creek, it's going to come down to turnovers. For Harding and Cedar Catholic, it's going to come down to defensive stops, because I have confidence that they can get some more shots to fall. They've been pretty efficient on that end of the floor. So now it's coming down to hopefully creating some turnovers. That's what the Trojans are going to want to do. Get the ball back in their hands, keep chopping away. This game is far from over.
Well, we saw Hartington turning an 11-point game into a 2-point game in the matter of about 90 seconds. I mean, it came in a blizzard of points. But since then, Sandy Creek has pushed it out to a 6-point game. But that can change here as Jillian Fellmeyer goes to the free throw line. She missed the front.
Yeah, Fellmeyer.
This is a 2-shot situation.
Fellmeyer is leading all scorers right now. She has 14. At least for Cedar Catholic. Shaw has 15 for Sandy Creek.
She'll go 1 for 2 on that trip. It's a 5-point game. Here's that full court press once again. And the Cougars break it Will they attack the basket strong? Yes, they will, and probably ill-advised. Now, here comes Hartington Cedar Catholic. From the baseline, it rolls off, no good. Rebound to Shaw. A break for Sandy Creek.
Yeah, somehow that shot popped out. It looked like it was going to drop down to Cedar Catholic. Instead, 5-point game.
Will the Cougars be a little more patient here? Nope, Shaw's going to take it in and draw the foul.
I think Russ Neinmeyer is going to tell his team right now there's no need to rush any shots. They've done it twice now. Luckily for the Cougars this time, there was a foul where they have a chance to cash in some points.
Dana Dickus with her 4th personal foul. First free throw, though, missed. Carrie Shaw with 15 points and 6 rebounds. Got the second. Back to a 6-point game, under 2.5 to play. Madison Becker, Pites, wants to take it in. Good! Little finger roll there.
That was a tough bucket. Didn't have the best look at the basket, still was able to fling it up and get it to drop.
Press broken. Sandy Creek.
Now you'll see the Cougars most likely be a little more patient.
Almost taken away by Dickus. She's got to be careful. She's playing with 4 fouls. And a turnover. Chance for a 1-possession game again. Big series right here for both teams. Becker looking inside. Finds Dickus. The pass wasn't very good. And the foul is on the floor. So that will not count. No basket. But it will be free throws. The foul was on the floor. Very important here. And it's 1-1 for Dana Dickus. With a minute 33 to go. But she's short. Costly free throw miss right there. Hartington could have made it a 1-possession game. Now they need a big stop here.
See Feldmeyer trying to get in there and disrupt that dribble.
Is that a 5-second count? It was a 5-second count on Carrie Shaw. And Russ Neinmeyer cannot believe it. What a huge time for that call for Cedar Catholic.
They get another chance.
They've got to make the most of this opportunity right here.
Down by 4. This is a second chance they will never get back. I mean, they really got to make this count.
Oh, great lob, but missed the layup. Dickus comes away with it. She'll put it up. And was she out of bounds? Yes. No, she was out of bounds. She stepped on the line. And a stop for the Cougars with a minute 3 to go.
You know, breaking the press for Sandy Creek is all about getting the ball in the middle of the court. They've done a really nice job of that in the second half.
Well, knocked out of bounds with 54-9 left to play. Well, they've had a couple of stops, but Hartington has been unable to draw closer. Entry in and a foul. That's going to be on Pites. That is her 3rd. And this will mean 2 free throws for Michaela Shaw. It was a perfect 3 for 3 from the free throw line, 11 points. She misses the first. She gets the second, 47-42. Cedar Catholic quickly down the floor, 50 seconds left. Dickus, yes, and a timeout. Hartington Cedar Catholic with 44-7 left to go as Dickus moves into double figures with 11 points.
They've hung right there throughout the entire second half, John. Cedar Catholic has been right on Sandy Creek's heels. Now they just need to get over that hump if they can. They got to come up with the defensive stop first. Cedar Catholic now in the position, likely looking at considering a 3, strongly considering a 3. They've only attempted 4 the entire ball game. Meanwhile, Sandy Creek at the charity stripe, that's likely where they could be headed. They're 11 of 15, 73% from the stripe.
One timeout remaining for Cedar Catholic. Again, if we have a tie-up, it will be Sandy Creek basketball. Sandy Creek, it would be a 9th state championship in school history. Among the tops all time in Nebraska State girls basketball. Taken away, almost so close for Fellmeyer. And now, time running off the clock. And there's a foul. It'll be on Fellmeyer. That'll be her 3rd. And more free throws coming up. For Sandy Creek, it will be won or lost here at the free throw line. Carrie Shaw, 6 of 8 at the line. Too strong on the first. And Russ Neidmeyer can only wince.
This is the big free throw. This makes it either a 1-possession or 2-possession ball game.
Short on the second. 3-point game, 28 seconds left. Cedar Catholic has 2 threes in this game out of 4 attempted. Not that they're necessarily looking for that at this point, and the shot was blocked by Ashley Harms. A huge block.
Talk about the girl that came up with some of the biggest buckets for Sandy Creek. She now comes up with the biggest defensive play for the Cougars.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. That was Shaw. Harms shooting free throws, but misses the first. You got to make those free throws, though.
Yeah,
Sandy Creek could have iced this game by now. I misspoke. Michaela Shaw with the big block. Got the second, and a timeout Sandy Creek. They have 1 remaining. So if you're Hartington, you're down 2 possessions. What you need are quick points here.
And there's really no need for a 3.
No, there's not.
It's a 2-possession game regardless. So hurry the ball down the floor. I'd look for maybe Pite. She's had a lot of success if she can get a full head of steam moving up the floor. She's really good when she gets around the rim after breaking the press. So she can run the floor well. Maybe look for Pites going straight toward the bucket. If somebody peels off, a defender peels off of Dickus, that's the one thing you might want to look for. Pites could dish over to Dana Dickus if she's hanging out on that block, should her defender leave her.
Right, and the problem is if you're Sandy Creek, the last thing you want to do is make a silly foul and get a 3-point play. That changes the dynamics of everything. For Hartington, you know this to be true, so you've got to be good with the ball, get it down the floor. As you just mentioned, watch where the defenders go, get the quick 2, and probably use your last timeout to set up some kind of a press off of that. But you've got to score quickly.
Yeah, Sandy Creek does not want to foul at all. You do not want to give Cedar Catholic a chance to score when the clock is stopped. Right now, time is on the Cougars' side.
Here comes the inbound. They'll press in the backcourt just to slow it down a bit. Time running off the clock. Pites takes it all the way in to Dickus. She's up, no! Rebound lost, and the foul, and that may do it.
That seemed to be the
Good
right
defense
call
by Sandy Creek.
Yeah, that seemed to be the right call by Cedar Catholic to run Pites over to Dickus, see what would happen. It's been successful this game, but more importantly, good job by Sandy Creek, and another great coaching call from a guy who's been in these clutch situations before. Russ Neidmeyer knew to have some front court pressure and make them work the ball all the way up the floor. That took 11 seconds. If you let them, if you sag your defense back, that sequence might only last 6 seconds.
Still can't finish at the free throw line. Russ Neidmeyer, like, really? Seriously? Five-point game. It'll take a miracle now. And look at this. And a turnover. And that just clinched it. Montana Hendricks. There's 7.1 seconds left, and all Hartington Cedar Catholic can do is watch now. This one is over. Sandy Creek back where they were in the late 90s. Champions of Class C2.
Championship 9 for 9 Meyer. Very fitting end for Sandy Creek's season.
Sandy Creek 49, Hartington Cedar Catholic 44. We'll be back with the medal presentations after this.
Programming on NET Television is provided in part by NPPD, Nebraska Public Power District, generating electricity with a balanced mix of energy resources, including wind. Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. Time Warner Cable, providing cable, internet, and digital phone service for your home or your business.
Sandy Creek survives a threat from Hartington Cedar Catholic through most of this fourth quarter, but they came up with enough stops at the end. And for Sandy Creek, state championship number 9, 49-44 the final. For the last time tonight, we go to Rich Broderson with our Sportsmanship Award and medal ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Nebraska Coaches Association and the Nebraska Athletic Administrators Association are proud to support the positive aspects of high school athletics. Good sportsmanship is a key factor in our philosophy, and at this time we are pleased to present the Class C2 Sportsmanship Award. The trophies are graciously donated by Awards Unlimited. Making the presentations are Jeff Smith of Lincoln Southeast High School and Galen Kronhoffman of Alma High School. Presenting the trophy and representing the Nebraska Independent College Foundation is Mr. Jack Pierce, ex-director of the Nebraska Independent of College Foundation. The Class C2 Sportsmanship Award winner is Hartington Cedar Catholic High School. Receiving the award is Mike Johnson and cheerleaders. Congratulations, Hartington Cedar Catholic High School. The Nebraska School Activities Association is pleased to present medals and trophies to both of these outstanding teams. The awards will be presented by NSAA Board of Control members Mark Norvell of Fillmore Central and Jay Beller of Battle Creek. They will be assisted by U.S. Bank Representative Mike Hosick. First, here are the awards for the 2010 Class C2 runner-up from Hartington Cedar Catholic High School. Your head coach, Terry Cottle, and your assistant step toward the middle of the court to present the silver medals to each member of your team. Players, as your name is called, please come forward to receive your medal. Number 10, Kendra Lammers. Number 14, Tracy Pikes. Number 20, Shanna Lisey. Number 22, Molly Schiefer. Number 34, Angela Steffen. Number 40, Caitlin Dickus. Number 50, Dana Dickus. Number 52, Nancy Denninger. And now to the seniors. Number 12, Madison Becker. Number 30, Shelby Newhofen. Number 32, Jillian Feldmeyer. And number 44, Molly Dickus. All of you are welcome to receive the runner-up trophy for your school. Congratulations, Hartington Cedar Catholic High School, 2010 Class C2 State runner-up. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to the champions from Sandy Creek High School. First, head coach Russ Neinmeyer. We have a special coaches award for you. Congratulations. Now, coach, hand out the gold medals to your championship team members. Players, as your name is called, please come forward to receive your medal. Number 13, Tori Wheeler. Number 15, Amanda Caden. Number 21, Montana Henricks. Number 23, Ashley Harms. Number 25, Taylor Horst. Number 31, Bailey Hanson. Number 33, Carrie-Ann Shaw. Number 43, Michaela Shaw. And now to the seniors, number 11, Morgan Hendricks. Number 41, Kayla Landorf. Number 45, Erica Kuda. And number 53, Brianna Slick. And now, all of you are welcome to receive the state championship trophy. Congratulations to the Cougars of Sandy Creek High School, the 2010 Class C2 State Basketball Champions.
Well, they've waited 9 years to add yet another trophy to the collection, but another trophy they will have as Sandy Creek prevails here in Class C2, 49-44. Terry Cottle is the head coach of the state runners-up as Hartington made a great comeback in the fourth quarter, but it fell 5 points short. Kevin?
Terry, you come up short in this, 49-44. You hung tough throughout the entire fourth quarter, though.
Well, we did, and one of our concerns going in, and I know one of the things that, they talked about even was, the fatigue factor playing Superior on Thursday night, coming back playing West Point CC in overtime last night, and I think that really had a huge impact on us in this game. The way we kind of played the fourth quarter with our defense is kind of the way we wanted to play the whole game. But early on in the first quarter, we kind of felt that that's not something we could have done and been able to really survive throughout the entire course of the game. So I'm just proud of our girls and how hard they played throughout this game, throughout this tournament.
You got this experience tonight, and how do you sum up this entire season? It stings right now, but I'm sure when you take some time to get away and look back at this, it's going to be a pretty special feeling.
Obviously, I'm extremely proud of these girls. They've worked hard, and every time we step on the floor, we talk about being the best defensive team and also the hardest working team out there. I really thought for the most part we've done that, and especially in our games Thursday and Friday. I don't know if we did that as well today, but I think, obviously I'm extremely proud of our girls. I'm proud of our fans that came out and supported us as well.
Terry, real quick, what can you say about your senior class?
They're tremendous leaders, and that's the one thing I would have to say is, they came out and just really the acceptance, the team unity that we've had throughout the course of the season has just really been tremendous. I couldn't ask for a more unified group of girls. They just, they really do love each other, and I really believe that, and they do anything for each other.
Terry, thank you. Congratulations. Great season. 49-44, Sandy Creek, the champions in Class C2. We'll hear from the winners right after this.
Nebraska, we asked and you delivered. You gave us good cooks, treasured recipes, and celebrated family stories. I'm Chef Brian O'Malley, your host of NET's program, The Recipe Box. Join us as we celebrate the culinary heritage of Nebraska through its food and its cherished stories that make us savor the taste of home.
Coming March 20th at 2 Central on NET1 and NET HD. Plus, find out how you can meet the cooks and sample the recipes from the program at the new Institute for the Culinary Arts in Omaha.
Hello, I'm Jeff Beckman. If you enjoy sports action on NET and if you want to see this excitement continue for many generations, consider making a gift to the NET Endowment Fund. NET is Nebraska sports, and your gift makes that possible.
Sandy Creek with the 49-44 victory here in Class C2 to wrap up this championship Saturday in 2010. We look at the final numbers, and Sandy Creek was led by Carrie Ann Shaw with 18 points. She also had 5 steals and 7 rebounds, a really good line. Jillian Fellmeyer leading the way for the runners-up with 15 points for Hartington Cedar Catholic. Field goals came up in the second half for both teams. Sandy Creek shooting 61% from the floor in the second half. Rebounds and turnovers practically identical. And we kind of thought this game would be very evenly matched with no one true advantage in either guards or frontline play for either squad. So it did turn out that it was just a little bit better shooting out of Sandy Creek that prevails in this one. Final score 49-44. And for Sandy Creek, 9th state championship that ties them with Lincoln Southeast for the second most in state history. Only one school, South Sioux City with 11, has more than Sandy Creek and Lincoln Southeast. Russ Neinmeyer has won all 9 of those trophies as the head coach of Sandy Creek High School, and he is standing by with our Kevin Suits as we go back to the championship area for our post-game interviews.
Russ, you've been here before, but it's been a while. This one has to feel pretty good, though.
Oh, very well, very well. I'm so happy for these kids and for the community and school. Couldn't ask for a better thing.
Talk us through tonight's contest. You trail at halftime, but you put together a really nice third quarter. What changed?
I think the girls just relaxed a little bit and got focused a little bit, and they knew that we were a better ball club offensively than we were in the first half, and just had to overcome. And we challenged the kids to play hard and continue to believe in themselves and go from there.
Yeah, how'd you get in sync? Because it seemed like you almost flipped a switch, and all of a sudden shots started falling. Your offense was executing at a higher level.
Well, I think it started right off the first play when Kerry made that quick bucket, got our kids emotionally going, and then from there, we just started moving to the ball toward the basket, and we found a couple things that was going to work pretty good, and Ashley Harms made a couple quick shots, and from there it just kept going.
How do you sum up this season from start to finish? Wasn't perfect, but you come away with the championship you guys have been working toward all year.
Yeah, the beginning of the season was a team that played with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement. We struggled a little bit toward the end a little bit, but then we regrouped and got it going, and we finished very strong and full of excitement, and hopefully it'll carry over next year.
So what was that moment like? You know, clock hits 0, you know that the prize is yours, and these girls, you got to see that they had let out quite the celebration there on the court.
Oh, yeah, I'm just so happy for them. You know, I mean, they do all the work, and to see them grow and their character is really well. They are truly a good bunch of kids to be around.
Russ, congratulations. Thank you so much. We'll let you bring in some of your players now and get their thoughts on winning a state championship, the 9th for Sandy Creek. We now have Brianna Schlick. Brianna, congratulations. Feels pretty good to be holding that trophy, doesn't it?
It feels great, yeah. Being my senior year, this is an awesome way to go out. So.
How did this season progress for you guys? Starting out, where was the expectation, and how does it feel now?
Well, coming off of volleyball, they were state runner-up in volleyball, so we had a huge fire going into basketball. And those first few games, we were awesome. We were dominating, but then we kind of struggled a little bit in mid-season, but we picked it back up.
Got going at the right time, right?
Yep, definitely.
Also, awesome. Congratulations again. Sandy Creek State champions. Let's bring in one of the other players, Montana Hendricks, just a sophomore. There's more to be heard from you. We might have championships maybe 10 and 11 up the road for Sandy Creek. Just talk about this one. This has to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it does. It feels amazing. We worked hard all season, and now it's paid off.
How'd you guys keep your composure? You trailed at halftime, but you came out and showed a lot of fight in the third quarter.
We just had to get more focused. We knew we were a better ball team than this. We had to stay focused and just keep pushing.
Good deal. Did the trick. Thank you very much. Michaela Shaw, a freshman that comes up with a really big performance tonight. 4 of 5 from the floor. You had 12 points, and now you get some hardware to take back to Sandy Creek.
Yeah, it feels so good.
Yeah, what was the celebration like for you guys? I saw you guys a lot of hugging with Coach Ninemeyer, and your teammates, yourself, everybody was in quite the good mood there when the clock hit 0.
Yeah, definitely. We were so excited. We wanted to share it with everyone, and yeah, we were so excited.
Was there a point in the year where you knew that this could be a reality?
Yeah, I mean, after our second game against Kearney Catholic, we had a big win, and we all knew that it could happen.
Good deal, and it did happen. Congratulations. Ashley Harms comes up with 14 points, 8 rebounds. Coach even talked about the second half for you, how you really took control and that offense really started clicking. Did you feel like your individual performance was kind of contagious and elevated the level of play?
Yeah, the second half I know I needed to step up because I didn't have any points the first half, and I think everyone just kind of followed along and everyone clicked.
Was that something that naturally happened, or was it emphasized at halftime?
I think it was emphasized because I just knew I needed to step up for the team.
You got a couple more years in you, right?
Yep.
All right, we look to see more of you in the future. We'll let you hand off to one more of your teammates. Carry-On Shaw comes up with 16 points. Another big performance for Sandy Creek, and look at the smile. You guys are really enjoying this, aren't you?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Just talk about what this means, not only to the team, the coaching staff, but this community. This is a basketball tradition-rich town.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I mean, we all knew we could do it from the beginning of the season, and now everybody's really going.
Did you grow up dreaming of this, knowing that the previous success Sandy Creek has had?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we watched our sisters play in this, and they had so much success, and it's just amazing.
Now you get some more bragging rights in the household, don't you?
Yep.
Awesome. Enjoy it. Congratulations. Again, the champions in Class C2, Sandy Creek, victorious tonight in our 6th and final championship game here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. We'll be right back to wrap up today's championship action right after.
We'll now proceed to the first item on today's agenda.
Log on to netnebraska.org/capital to stay connected to what's happening in your state government. Nebraska Capitol Live brings you daily coverage of important decisions from Nebraska's courts, legislative hearings, and events at the governor's office. In the office or at home, you can always stay informed with Nebraska Capitol Live at netnebraska.org/capital.
Blazing fastballs, spectacular strikeouts, fan pandemonium, and an eye-catching name. Take an intimate glimpse at Nebraska native and now New York Yankees pitcher Jabba Chamberlain, the people, places, and events which have influenced his road to success in Yesterdays, the Jabba Chamberlain story, Tuesday night at 7 Central on NET1 and NET HD. Plus, Jabba's father Harlan and Husker baseball coach Mike Anderson will be in the studio to let you know how you can get Husker baseball tickets and signed baseballs.
Log on now to Nebraska Stories Online, the place that gives you more insight about the people, the places, and the ideas of Nebraskans. Log on to netnebraska.org/Nebraska Stories for extended video clips, articles, and information. Nebraska Stories and more now on the web.
Six champions have been crowned here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center as the action winds down in Lincoln. Girls Championships coming to a close. Yes, it is still Championship Saturday. We're getting close to Sunday, so we can't still say that for the next half hour. John, it was a very exciting day. We saw some repeat champions and some really good performances from start to finish today.
No question about it. I think, obviously, the highlight of the day had to be the battle for Wahoo, with Bishop Neumann prevailing over their in-city rivals from Wahoo in a game that went to overtime. Probably the best played game by both teams combined in one effort. But when you look at the best overall performance by a singular team, there's no question that goes to Seward. Back-to-back state champions and 50 wins in a row to carry into next season.
Yeah, and we even had the discussion in the Class A contest. Where does Seward stack up in Class A? You know, that's just all fodder for us media types to try to figure out where they stack up. The Class A game, we saw a repeat champion there because Seward goes back-to-back. Well, so does Bellevue West, and Bellevue West, again, plays the underdog role and comes out on top.
Yeah, 3 repeat champions when you count in Bishop Neumann, Seward, and Bellevue West. So 3 repeats this year in girls state basketball, kind of reminiscent of those days when, ironically enough, Sandy Creek and South Sioux City were winning titles year in and year out. Sandy Creek back in the winner's circle for the first time in nearly a decade.
Yeah, and this was a really neat way to end it. The 9th championship for Sandy Creek, and it's one of those old traditional powers that has some more hardware to add to the already pretty filled trophy case.
And now we look forward to next week, the boys state tournament. I really like the field in Class A, even though there were some upsets in the districts. Alas, my Fremont Tigers aren't going to make it this year, but we have got a really balanced class. I think Norfolk from Central, Creighton Prep, Lincoln High, Lincoln Southeast, it's a really good class. Anyone could come out of that field. I think Class B is a stat class, and Class C1 we'll get to see another Division I prospect in Elliot Eliason of Shadron.
Yeah, C1 might be the best overall class because I think a lot of people want to see Hastings St. Cecilia and Shadron in the title game. But getting back to Class A, that's what everybody was talking about here at the Girls Championship outside of the Arena Project. Everybody's talking about boys next weekend and who's going to win Class A. Everybody waited the entire season to find out who's going to separate themselves. It never happened. So truly, 1 through 8, this is anybody's to win.
Absolutely, and we look forward to bringing you all 6 championship games next week right here on 1011 and NET.
John, it's been fun. Another girls state championship down, and remember, this is your 15th year doing the play-by-play, and you keep getting better year by year.
I'm getting old as well.
No, and you're getting better with the age as well.
I appreciate that. Thanks
it's
for having
been fun.
me
We'll have more fun again next week. We have a lot of thanks to Dish Out for all of our fine work behind the scenes today and over the past few days getting ready for these state championships. We want to thank the production and engineering crews, a co-production between 1011 and NET Sports. Again, 2 teams collaborating and making this thing go off without a hitch. I also want to give a thanks to Dr. Jim Tinniper and the Nebraska School Activities Association, Butch Hugg and the staff at the Bob Devaney Sports Center, kind as always, Nebraska Educational Television, Husker Vision, and don't forget, next week, the Boys Championships on 1011 and NET. 1011 News is next. For John Bishop and the entire NET and 1011 crews, I'm Kevin Suit signing off from the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Good night.
School.
Coverage of the 2010 NSAA State High School Basketball Championships has been brought to you in part by Concordia University, One Oak Energy Marketing, Nebraska Community Colleges, and by Southeast Community College.
You're watching NET.